Spoiler alert, this video is a little bit of clickbait, but at the same time, I know that not every Bible is for everybody. So if you want to know why I don't think you should get this Bible, watch this video. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to ChurchVid TV. My name is Tom, and here I make videos so people don't feel alone in the Catholic Church. Whether you're sad, mad, tired, or glad, I've felt all those things. I've been a cradle Catholic all my life, and just recently I've really experienced a crisis of faith, if you will, and I felt so alone. And so I wanted to make videos so that nobody else in the church would feel like nobody understands what they're going through, or just feel like they have no place to voice their opinion. So recently there was an invitation from Ascension Press to take a look at their brand new Bible. This is the Great Adventure Timeline Bible. You know, if there's one thing that makes people feel alone or just confused in the church, it's the Bible sometimes. A lot of people find themselves just confused. So-and-so begot so-and-so, who begot so-and-so, who... They did what? Or my favorite verse, and then 42 she-bears came out of the woods and tore the children to pieces. This thing can be super confusing. The nice thing about the Great Adventure Timeline Bible is that it's based on a program called the Great Adventure Bible Timeline. This was created by Jeff Cavins and adopted by Ascension Press. So what they did with this Bible is they took all the information from that course and they made it accessible in a book. So what you have here is a covenant structure of salvation history. And this is the whole foundation of the Great Adventure Timeline. It looks at scripture from the context of the specific covenants that God made to specific characters in the Bible, where he starts with Adam and Eve and he goes all the way up to Jesus Christ. And so you have Adam and Eve, you have Noah and his family, you have Moses and the Israelites, you have David and the kingdom, all the way through Jesus. And so when you understand the Bible in the context of the covenants, you can read books within the correct context and they make a little bit more sense. So for example, the book of Exodus, it's got this red tab. That means every book with the red tab is going to be in the Egypt and Exodus part of the covenant. So as I read through this, it tells me that the main story of what's going on here is found in the book of Exodus. It also tells me that there are supplemental books. That means this book is within the context of the main narrative, but it doesn't necessarily progress the story of the timeline. So for instance, in Egypt and Exodus, the supplemental book is the book of Leviticus. Did you know that the book of Leviticus was actually written for priests? So if you ever fell asleep reading it, it's okay. It doesn't advance the main narrative, but it is a supplemental book. Moving on, there are some tabs here that are this royal purple. Don't worry, I'm not going through all the books of the Bible. That's for the royal kingdom period. And so the main narrative books are going to be 1st and 2nd Samuel and 1st Kings. So these are the books we're going to focus on to understand the story of salvation. But there's also a lot of supplemental books. You have 1st and 2nd Chronicles, the book of Psalms, the book of Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, Song of Solomon. So once you understand that the book of Psalms was written within the context of this royal kingdom, it gives you a better way to look at what is going on in the Psalms. And so this Bible is fantastic for giving you context for scripture. Not only does it give you context for the timeline of salvation, but it also gives you timeline of what's going on in the history of the world. So for instance, it tells you who is the world power. Do we have any history sources from secular sources? They also give you beautiful artwork, as you can see here, nice graphs, and maps as well. And so before you get to every section of the timeline, it has a section explaining the context so that you understand what's really going on and what are the main narrative points you need to focus on. Not only that, but it even comes with a reading plan to read through the Great Adventure story in 90 days. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so that's all the good stuff about the Bible, but here's why it might not be the right Bible for you. Number one, the translation is the Revised Standard Catholic Edition. That means when you read this Bible, if you try to read it at Mass while the priest is preaching or while the readers are doing the readings, the words are not going to be the same. The church uses the New American Translation of the Bible for the liturgy. This is the Revised Standard Catholic Edition. And so what's the difference? Well, basically, don't forget the Bible is a translation of a translation of a translation. And when you're translating things, you can translate the ideas, the general concepts, concepts, or you can translate word for word. So if I told you it's raining cats and dogs outside, you could say it's pouring or it's raining. Like you could say that in another language in a different way. Or if you're speaking Spanish, you could say it's literally raining gatos y perros. Now, if you said that to a Spanish speaking person, if they had no idea of the context, they're going to be really confused. So the RSV takes more of a literalistic approach. It tries to convey the exact words and phrases that were used in the original languages. And so it might sound a little funny, but in doing so, it allows us to kind of get more at what the author was trying to say. And so in that way, I like the Revised Standard for study or for just like really going deep into scripture. But if you're looking for a Bible that is one-to-one translation of what you're going to hear at Mass, this is not the right translation for you. That doesn't mean you can't use it though. I still use this for my Mass readings. I just know that they're going to sound a little different. The other thing, did you know that the Bible was not written with these nice little headings? In fact, the Bible was just kind of written out straight through. And so, for instance, I don't always like to know the next story that's coming up is the preparation of Passover. And then Jesus institutes the Eucharist. I like to read the story as it was written. And so that gives me just kind of a little bit of a different vibe. So if you don't like the headings, then this might not be the Bible for you. Also, if you're not a huge fan of notes and charts and graphs and all that stuff, this might not be the right Bible for you. Some people like to just read through scripture as it is, and I enjoy that too. That's why I have another Bible that's just basically words on the page. So that's something to consider as well. Another thing to consider is that this is not like a super portable Bible. I mean, it's nice and you can easily throw it in a backpack or something, but if you're looking for something, I mean, this is like 1.5 inches thick. It's about as big as a piece of paper. I mean, like it's a size of a nice book. If you're looking for a super portable one, then you shouldn't buy this Bible. If you're a tab junkie, you may need to get some tabs. I like tabs. It's cool that these tabs are colored, so you kind of get an idea from the side, but I like my tabs sticking out. But don't worry, Ascension Press does sell Bible tabs, so you can have them as well. So not a reason not to buy it, but just saying it doesn't have tabs. One thing I also like about the Bible is it's got these ribbons. So especially if I'm reading for Mass, I can put one ribbon in the Gospel, one ribbon in the first reading, and then my pencil in the second reading or something like that. The other thing I would say is the Great Adventure Timeline is a tremendous resource for reading the Bible. This Bible is fantastic for people who like to read, and that's how they absorb and learn information, is through reading through the Great Adventure, because this is basically the Great Adventure summed down into like a couple of pages before you start reading the book. If you're more of a visual or an audio learner, I would check out the Great Adventure Timeline. I believe they have it streaming or a DVD series. So this might not be the Bible if you're more of like that auditory learner. Like you could go get a different kind of Bible and then still use the same program. But I would probably recommend using this along with the program as well. I mean, that makes sense, right? And so ultimately, I think this is a fantastic Bible. I think it's going to serve a lot of people. It may not be the right fit for you, but it might be just what you're looking for. And for me, it is. It's a little bit bigger than my portable Bible, so I don't lose it. Like I know exactly where it is. It's very good for writing notes in. I write in my Bible all the time. And it's just I just think it's a good fit for me right now so that I can take it to Mass and I can take it with me. I have multiple Bibles, so there's nothing wrong with having more than one Bible also. So I'm really enjoying it. I've been using it for about a month now. I've used it at Mass. I've brought it in my car. I've traveled with it, and it's just really nice to have and to see different notes. I've already kind of learned a few things that I didn't know, and I have a master's in theology. So that's really helpful. It shed some light on some passages that was really, really helpful for me growing in my faith and learning more about Jesus Christ. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please hit like, go ahead and comment and let me know what you think about this Bible or what Bible you're currently using. Subscribe to the channel if you can, and share this video. The most important thing for these videos is to help people not feel alone. The Bible can make people feel alone. It can be very intimidating. So this is a great place to start for people who want to introduce themselves into the Bible, but maybe you're a little nervous for going to a Bible study, or maybe you're not sure where to start, or you're just kind of embarrassed. Like, that's totally cool. This is a great place to start, and it'll give you questions so that you can talk to your friends who you feel like know more about the Bible, or talk to your priest, and it's a great way to learn more about your faith in Jesus Christ. So thanks again for checking out this video. If you got value out of this video and you would like to support what I'm doing, making videos so that people don't feel alone in the church, please check out my Patreon page. I really do appreciate it. This is a passion of mine to share the gospel and specifically to people who feel outside of the church, even if they're sitting in the pews. So please check out my Patreon page, and your support is greatly appreciated. God bless.